Do you have something that you want to change? Something that you want to shift, whether it is something concrete like your job or a relationship or your physical body or your mental body or something that is kind of not concrete, like a behavior that is sort of in the background, something that we do automatically, something that's on repeat in your life. Do you have anything that you want to shift and change? So I'm sure you do. We all do, right? And even once we've changed something, we might want to change it more, or we always move on to the next thing. Because I think as humans, that's what we do, is we evolve and grow. And so today I'm going to give you guys some concrete tools and techniques to help you as you shift. And now we think about change, it takes place between two things. The act of changing, the change happens between two things, right? Whether it's you had a job, you changed jobs, and now you have a new job, right? Or whether it is you used to drink Coke and you've changed that time in between, and now you don't, right? I am not simplifying that change, right? Like if you find a new job, there's a lot that goes into finding a new job. And there's a lot that goes into stopping a behavior like drinking or eating something that you don't want to be, or even if it's creating a boundary with somebody in our relationships, right? There's that middle point of change in between the two things that you are moving from one to the other, right? And so we want to first, we're going to look at this mindfully, and then we're going to give you some mindset tips, right? So we're going to use the example of wanting to uh, shift a behavior of feeling not confident into feeling confident in life. We're going to go that broad, right? Like we're just feeling unconfident. We're just feeling like we're not measuring up, right? And then we want to go to embodying this feeling of being confident and waking up and knowing that we will take on the day, whatever comes our way, right? So there's this change in between from going from feeling unconfident to feeling confident. Now, keep in mind that when we work on mostly when we work on our mental and emotional bodies, right? There is a lot of repetition that needs to take place, consistency that needs to take place. You know what? I guess even with our physical body, that consistency, right? So this is never a one and done, right? So this exercise, you may go, what is it? Like the two steps forward, one step back, but it's that consistency and repetition that is going to bring you further towards that goal that you want, whatever it is, right? So, for this sake, we are going to use this goal of wanting to have more confidence on a daily basis, right? And we know, like I said, that's a continuum. Sometimes you're not going to feel confident, and you're going to have these tools to help you stay on that path towards feeling confident more often than not, right? So, what we're going to do mindfully is however you get yourself into a mindful state, whether that is looking at the clouds go by, whether it is watching the birds, whether it's closing your eyes and taking a few deep breaths, we're going to find ourselves in that mindfulness state, however you do it. And then we're going to really intentionally bring the old pattern, the old behavior to our mind, right? We're going to consciously bring that into our mind's eye and actually then in our mind's eye, step out of it, step out of that image of that old behavior, that old situation that we want to remove ourselves from, right? And then in your mind's eye, you've stepped out of it. And now you're going to create an image of your pathway to change. What does that look like? Now, when we have a path or a route, right, we are going to imagine what that looks like. Could it be the walking path? Could it be a railroad track? Maybe it's a bridge, right? Whatever that looks like, a staircase. It could be just a straight line. It's a path. We need to get from one to the other. So we need to, in our mind's eye, create this path and just let your imagination be your guide. Often I've found when I work with clients and we do this exercise together where I'm actually facilitating it and we come up with everything and I keep track and whatnot. I often have to say, take your conscious mind and put it on the shelf, right? You're going to listen to that inner voice, your subconscious, and it will tell you, like you might think stairs. And then your conscious mind is going to be like, that sounds stupid. Don't do stairs. Right. And so then you get all jammed up. If we take our conscious mind, thank it, put it aside, you're going to listen to that inner voice. Let your inner voice, your intuition, your imagination be your guide in this exercise. So now you've picked your path. And for this path of feeling unconfident to confident, we're going to have stairs. I'm going with stairs. I just felt it. I put my conscious mind on the side and I listened. We got some stairs here. This is tangent coming, people. I always count the stairs when I go up them. And I'm just curious if other people do that as well, no matter what. And so maybe for me doing this not feeling confident to confident, I know that about me. I chose stairs. Maybe I'm going to figure out how to incorporate that into my imagination, my intuition technique here. So we're going to see the beginning of this staircase. I'm at the bottom. I've decided to be at the bottom for not feeling confident and to be at the top for confident. You can switch it around, do whatever you want. This is your imagination too. So we're going to see the beginning of this pathway and we're going to really step in to what it feels like to be at the beginning of that pathway, to be in the state of not feeling confident. Really step into it. When we cannot articulate or bring that to the forefront, we really have a hard time articulating what we want in the end, right? We really need to know what it is we're looking for, and we don't know where we're looking for if we don't know if we can't figure out what we don't want, if that makes any sense. It does. And so it's really, people always say, that's what I want, right? You got to figure out what it is you're feeling now, because that want might be different than what you're automatically thinking it's going to be, right? So I've already gotten clear, and I know I want to go from not being confident to confidence, where sometimes people say, I just want to be validated. I just want to be validated. And it's not that they're not being validated, it's that they don't feel confident enough to ask for that validation or just to decide what that looks like for them. So in actuality, it's not validation that they're looking for. So we kind of go through ways together to get to this concrete example of not feeling confident to feeling confident. All right, so you're going to stand at the beginning of your pathway. This is in your mind's eye, and you're going to look at it and really feel what it's like to not know where you're heading, but to know you're somewhere you don't want to be. And imagine then you're sitting in that, and imagine taking that first step towards that new place, somewhere new. Feel what happens in your body. Notice the emotions, notice the thoughts, notice where you feel it in your body. And this is all valuable information for when we take this out of our imagination and into the real world, and we devise a plan of how to go from point A to point B. All right. And you're really just going to spend some time listening to the story that emerges, and that gives you amazing information for how you're going to prepave your road to success or your staircase to success, right? And this, like, what you want to do is devise then your plan of those steps, right? So now in your imagination, you're going, what's the one step I can take towards feeling confident? And so if I was to start on my step, the one first step is to acknowledge and validate myself that I'm not feeling confident. right? I need to realize and accept that to go on to the next step. And now the next step might be, where have I felt confident before? And spend some time there. What does that look like? What was the situation? How can I apply some of those same factors to future situations, right? And then the next step is always, I find one of these steps on the staircase is always creating boundaries, even if they're micro boundaries at the very beginning. So you're going to go and look at your road from point A to point B. That's mindfully looking at how we want to release and obtain something else. Like I said, whether it's a new job, whether it's create a new vibration in your relationship, change the story that's being told, or whether it is something of yourself, right? Whether it's not feeling good enough, not feeling confident, whether it's not being able to commit to a goal. How can we lay this out in steps that's going to allow you to succeed, right? And so, one thing for mindset shifts during our non imagination travel through from one end to the other, a mindset trick that is so valuable that's actually, you can use it for a lot of different scenarios. But we're going to take this concept of when we're on this road to confidence and all of a sudden I'm feeling unconfident, getting clear, it's often a past memory or a something has activated that feeling in me, right? And so we're going to imagine, like, have you ever been driving down the road and you're a passenger and you're in the car and you see the outside, you can't really touch it, and you're going so fast that you actually see the image, and before you can really process what that was, right? Like, you're past the signpost, you're past the tree, and then your brain is like, oh, that was a really neat tree. That was a really neat signpost. Oh, did you see that bird, right? It's gone. By the time you've processed it, that you've seen it, it's totally gone. So this happens in quick succession when you're going down the road, when you're going down the highway, even back roads, right? That is the mindset tool that you're going to use for moments when you are activated and feeling back to your point that you're trying to get away from. And the example that I use, back to, I'm starting to feel unconfident, right? Something activated that in me, and I'm going to step back and I'm going to look at that feeling. I'm going to look at that scene as if I'm in the car. There's glass between me and it, and I'm going forward on my path, and it is staying still, and it's just a memory, right? We're just letting it fade back. Remind ourselves that as soon as you see these images, they're gone. They're no longer there. Imagine driving far away with the window separating you from this image, right? And it's gone. We can still see it, right? But it's not there. It's not there anymore. So that's an amazing mindset trick for when we start to take those two-step back that we talked about earlier. And then when we have these feelings of switching back, right? We're kind of falling back into old patterns, or we might have let our boundaries loosen up a little bit, right? Maybe we were tired. So, to create this moment for ourselves, we're going to actually take and reevaluate the things that we've done so far, right? We're going to say, okay, I'm feeling this way now, but when did I feel confident? What situations did I allow myself to feel as confident in? What were the supporting factors of this situation, right? What happened and how can I recreate those again? Maybe I was able to pause and answer a question instead of feeling like I had to answer it right away, because if I didn't, they might get mad at me. And then I'm feeling unconfident, right? Where I, at this one particular time, said, give me a minute, I'm going to think about that. And that confidence of controlling the situation, my response to the situation, really is now evidence that I can do this, right? And then we have compassion for the times that we mess up because now we can actually see and notice the times that we've succeeded in it, right? And how can I take this little piece of memory and be proud of it and use it as evidence for the future? So that was 3 tips: one, mindful; two, mindset, on how you can go from point A to point B on your road to change. And that's what it's all about. I mean, I have a feeling if you're listening to Teachings and Tangents, it's because, one, you might be my mom. And two, you might want transformation. You might want change. You might want to grow. And that's what this channel is about, is giving you the tools so that you can do that for yourself and enjoy it and and enjoy this road. Enjoy going on your staircase. It doesn't have to be hard and it doesn't have to be arduous. It really can be fun if we know how to pre-pave the road to success. With that, Teachings and Tangents, until next time, see you then.